What's up, everybody? We have 10 minutes here. It's just Jimmy and Mark right now, and we're going to do a little, shorter episode to commemorate 2 years of podcasting. A big shout out to Brittany, who actually pays attention to those kinds of things, for letting us know that we were coming up on 2 years. And so we're going to do, Mark and I here, a little bit of a game night, or I don't know, trivia or fun facts or whatever. So if you've been listening to us for 2 years and you're still wondering, who are these guys? I don't know, maybe some of these stories will give you a little bit of a backstory. So first things first, though, Mark, I want to ask you what your favorite memory over these last 2 years has been on the podcast, Vortex Nation podcast.
Man, I tell you what, Jim, that's a tough one. A lot of really good memories. Like you said, we are 200 episodes deep. We're a couple pod ventures deep. We spent a lot of quality time together. It's got to be, for me, it's split between the two pod ventures. One of which was one of those things. It's like somehow like the when something is like as bad as it gets, somehow it's more memorable.
Oh, so we're talking about boats and bows.
Yeah. You remember that?
Right.
Complete and utter failure in every sense of the word, the imagination. And yet I look back on that. I watch the video sometimes just to reflect maybe on more of a cautionary tale, what not to do.
And I think you also like padding the stats on the views for those videos.
Yeah. I text you every time. I'm like, hey, I was watching Little Boats and Bows today.
Yeah,
we got another one.
Yeah.
One more view. It's just me again. But man, there were a lot of good memories in that one, and Nate did a great job editing the video. It's a work of art. It's I don't think it's any of our proudest moment. It's not my proudest moment in life.
Correct.
And I don't think it really represents who we are and what we're about in any way. But it's a good laugh.
It represents
and good memories.
It represents the fact that you don't have to be so serious all the time.
Yes.
I mean, really.
And we went into that one.
We went into that
Kinda
one
knowing.
completely blind. We knew that it could be a complete sham show.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if the Coos deer hunt and the Subaru was.
I would say that is mine as well. Mostly because of the fact that I was so confident in rebuilding this Subaru. When in reality, I hadn't gone that far on a rebuild before in terms of literally pulling the engine and rebuilding that whole thing and the suspension, brakes, all the important things that would be required to go from Wisconsin to Arizona in the middle of January and then to LA afterwards. And when we made it to Arizona, there was this big breath of relief. I don't know if you heard it. I might have waited until you were out of the car, but I was definitely nervous, especially following boats and bows. So
well, I know you definitely waited to reveal that what could be considered an important piece of information until we were utterly pot committed into rebuilding the Subaru. Like, I mean, it was basically almost done, and you go, man, this is like pretty cool. I've never done this before. I thought maybe.
Yep.
Thought maybe you had.
Yep. So anyway, there's that, folks. I don't know. Let's hear some of your favorite memories if you have any from back over the last 2 years. But okay, here's the game night part. We're going to do a little two truths and a lie. I'm going to go first because mine are shorter than yours. I heard you wrote some novels.
Well,
And so here, you ready?
Yes.
Two of these things are true. One of these things is a lie. It's on you to figure out which one is the lie. Okay. So Jimmy here, talking. I once single-handedly destroyed an entire array of trade show booths on accident while the show was going on because I was pretending to be Batman.
Okay.
I once sunk a full-court shot in a basketball game in middle school with still over a minute left in the half.
Wait, hold on. Please repeat the statement.
I once sunk a full-court shot in a basketball game in middle school with still over a minute left in the first half.
Okay.
I was once almost suspended from high school for organizing a group buy of custom stress balls with the principal's face on them.
Oh, my God.
Which one's the lie?
I don't know. This is like...
Take a stab at it.
This is a shot in the dark. Okay, so we had the basketball, We had stress balls, and what was the other
and
one?
then single-handedly destroying an entire array of trade show booths on accident while the show was going on because I was pretending to be Batman.
Which one is the lie? Well, I wouldn't put any of these past you. That's why this is so difficult. Stress balls?
Nope, that was true. I did almost get suspended.
You got me.
Yeah. The one that was a lie was the full court basketball shot because I airballed it.
Oh.
Really bad. And in the high school we were playing in, this was middle school, we were playing in a high school or whatever. In the school we were playing in, they had, when you looked at the clock and it said 1 minute,
Yeah.
instead of there being one and a colon or semicolon or whatever, with the 2 dots and then the 2 numbers afterwards. Well, the top dot of the colon was burnt out.
Oh.
So it looked like it said 1.01. Which
Okay.
means a minute and 1 second. I thought it was 1.01 seconds. So I go and grab, this person sinks a shot, and my buddy goes to, inbound the ball, and I'm the point guard. I turn around, look at the clock, I see 1.01 seconds. How has nobody said anything yet? So he inbounds the ball, I grab it, turn around, and baseball toss this shot. Completely airballed it, and I'm waiting for the buzzer to go off, and it never went off. And then the whole gym went silent, and everybody looked at me. And my brother Joe, who's been on the podcast,
Yes.
he was our coach at the time, and the look he gave me.
Well, he's not competitive.
Oh, he's not. Yeah, by any sarcasm. He pulled me out of the game for, I'm pretty sure, like the rest of the game. He's so mad. Anyway, so there you have it.
Well, so I was gonna ask. So what compelled you to take this shot? Was it just like you just were feeling it? Confidence. I mean, it seems like that could happen. That's not.
Yeah.
You're trying to do the right thing.
So anyway, that's my.
Well, you totally got me.
Let's hear yours.
Okay. Mine are somewhat, maybe not as good, a little more elaborate. Brittany printed it off for me here. Thank you, Brittany.
Celebrating 2 years of Mark coming in with a ton of printed paper.
You got to make it authentic. Okay.
My goodness, Mark, that's an entire page.
Like I said, most of these are for you.
Okay.
Well, Brittany, she scared me. She goes, because I hadn't written mine yet, and she goes, gems are really good. then I start panic writing.
All right.
Okay. We're gonna start. Gotta see which one I'm gonna start with. Okay. Let's start with this one. As a kid, I used to fish in my backyard, but there wasn't any water. You see, we had quite the population of squirrels and stellar jays, and if there's one thing both of those critters like, it's peanuts. I'd take my trout rod, string it up, and tie a swivel on the end. Next, you grab a peanut and take a nail, punching it through the center of the shell in the void between the lobes where the 2 nuts rest. Unless, of course, you have the rare and elusive triple peanut, which really is just too valuable to use as bait anyway. Now, you have to be careful not to break the nut in half because then you have to start over, reducing your fishing time. Run the swivel through the peanut and close it back over your main line, and you're set. Cast it into your yard and wait. Chumming is permitted, so a few extra nuts in your lawn isn't going to hurt anything. The anticipation while waiting for your quarry to strike is electric. It's a super visual experience as you get to see the entire approach and take unfold. Stellar jays pretty much always fly away immediately after the pickup, pulling the nut from their beak. An open bail extends the experience for a second or two, but you have to flip it pretty quick as to not get tangled in the trees. A motivated squirrel will hold on for quite some time and fight harder than you think.
Interesting.
Okay,
got it.
Let's see, which one next? We'll do this one.
It's extraordinary detail. I tell you, if that was a lie, incredible detail.
Thank you. Most college kids don't have a ton of money, and me and my buddies were no exception. You'd think that if I went to college, I wouldn't say things like me and my buddies.
It's okay. We'll glaze over it.
After an unsuccessful evening of jump shooting ducks on the Snake River, we were making our way back to school along a windy road in heavy fog with an abundance of blind corners. Out of nowhere, the headlights illuminated a red and white steer. My buddy swerved, but there was no avoiding it. We struck his front end with the right front quarter panel of my buddy's F-150. It was a perfect hit, and the bull was stone dead. Although wounded, my buddy's truck was still alive and well. This was before the days of Onyx, and we didn't have plat maps and had no idea where the nearest farmhouse might be to notify someone who may be the owner of the now deceased livestock. What we did know was there were a couple 100 pounds of meat laying before us that looked a hell of a lot better than the top ramen alternative back at the house. We all had a knife, and it'd be a damn shame to let it go to waste. We got the guts out of the bull because that was step one back then, quartered him up, pulled out the back straps and the tendies, hucked a lot of it in the bed of the truck, and ate like kings for the rest of the semester.
Okay.
Where you at, Jim?
I don't know. That's a pretty savage thing to do, I guess. But I mean, I can't judge because you're college kids, and
what are you gonna do?
Stuff
right?
happens. I mean, back then you guys were. I mean, basically the only technology you had was like typewriters, right? So it's not like you could just go and.
Yeah, no,
look 'em up.
word processor, Jim.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, don't insult me. All right, last one.
Okay.
I didn't have a bird dog as a kid, but I did have a bird cat. Well, kind of. As a youngster left unsupervised with a BB gun and a hunter's heart, let's just say there was a high volume of avian air gun action going on. Something as an adult I'm not super proud of. Now, I wasn't completely heartless. Birds of vibrant color and the oaf-like robin always got a free pass, and I never shot over a bird feeder like some of my unsporting grade school associates. Starlings, on the other hand, particularly after learning they were non-native and at one time had a bounty on their iridescent heads, were not so fortunate. And they were bountiful, to say the least. And oh yes, we had a cat. Also something I'm not super proud of, but at the time, I loved that damn thing. And it liked to keep me company, patiently waiting for my feathered quarry to make its way to the yard. It's no secret cats love to eat birds, and over time, old lady learned free meals were common if she hung out long enough. At the shot, she'd take off like a lab launches itself into the water after a folded duck. Occasionally, they'd hang up in a tree, and she'd rest her front feet on the trunk, postured like a hound with a lion bayed on a limb, meowing incessantly. More often than not, she'd recover a prize. We were never able to perfect her retrieving skills.
BS on that third one. You never had a cat. You hate cats. Everything about them. I've never heard you talk about this cat.
Swing and a miss, Jim.
Oh, come on. You had a cat?
I said right in the thing I wasn't proud of it.
Well, I know, but that's
Sorry,
a great
cat
way.
lovers.
That's some camouflage right there, over a lie. Like, oh, I wasn't proud of it, but I mean, that's like lying number.
We had a
101.
cat, and I loved it, and I don't know what I don't know when. It used to sleep with me. Used to sleep on my neck. I'm like, you didn't steal my breath.
Jiminy Christmas.
Yeah.
So okay, which one was the lie?
The lie was the.
Was it the second one with the cattle?
Yes.
Okay. See, I thought that one was so crazy that it was like you can't make that up. Boy, so is it a half truth or is it just full out made up the entire thing?
I did like everything was we were able to avoid the cat and actually I was driving back in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was this in the Supra?
No, this was the 79 International Scout 2.
Oh, this is your Scout 2.
It was like the year that I had it at college when it wasn't broken.
Yeah.
And yeah.
We still got to rebuild that thing.
I know.
All right. Okay. Now we're gonna transition into a little game of Would You Rather. We're
always a good time.
We're into pretty much usual 10-minute talk territory here at about 13 minutes, 14 going on. So we'll carry on here.
Do we do them all at once?
Yeah, I'll list off mine for you, and then you list off your Would You Rathers for me.
All right.
So I think I have I have 5 for you.
Wait, Brittany said 3.
Yeah, they're fine. Mine are
Okay.
quick. Just like my my True Truths and a Lie, they're pretty quick. Okay. Would you rather... I like how you also just broke down the fourth wall here. Brittany is right here overseeing this whole thing, so... We can always go complain to Brittany. Sure. Cooper, a new addition to the team. Welcome. Okay, would you rather never be able to wash your hands for the rest of your life or just once have to bob for apples in a well-used porta potty for your phone, which you dropped in by accident? So you either never are able to wash your hands ever again for the rest of your life, or one time you got to go in face first into a porta potty to fish your phone out, bobbing for Apple style.
Jim, this is a no-win situation.
See the circuitry.
Yeah, yes,
breaking.
Complete.
Shut
my
down.
My brain is like how my desk computer is pretty much acting constantly.
Shut down.
Never be able to wash my hands.
Oh yeah, you can never wash your hands ever again.
I don't know if I live through the other one though.
Oh, it's highly likely you die. Yeah.
What about just like not soap? Warm water?
Up to your interpretation.
Never washing your hands. You'd never even be around people again.
It's a tough call, Mark. I mean, that's what Would You Rather is all about. I mean,
hashtag triggered. Like, oh man,
Mark.
No, I guess I don't wash my hands.
Mentally left the building.
I don't wash my hands. I can't.
All right, I'm doing the no longer washing your hands. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll figure out another way. I'll wear gloves.
Yeah.
Ha. So okay.
God, that was harder than I thought it was going to be.
Would you rather?
You're asking the tough ones, Jim.
Would you rather live in Washington State or Montana? The catch is, whichever you pick, you can no longer visit the other ever again.
Wow. Okay. What? Yeah.
Oh, I picked all ones that I knew would really send you for just a ride, just
in
spinning.
true form. And this isn't going to probably be the popular decision. Now Washington. That's home for me, right?
I know.
So I have that connection. I've also been gone for a long time, so I'm going back to what Washington, the mental picture that I have, not what maybe it is now.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
And I'm also basing it on not like the quality of the hunting, but the diversity of the ocean. I'm going back to the great state of Washington.
Sayonara, Montana.
Oh, God.
Okay, so would you rather eat venison steaks or turkey breast for the rest of your life? So obviously, if you're only eating one of those things for the rest of your life, you're not having the other one.
I'm going to go with the red meat.
That's fair. Fair choice. Okay. Would you rather have to shoot an AR for the rest of your life or a trad bow?
I'm going with the AR.
Okay.
I want to knock some things down, Jim.
You want to have some efficacy.
I want to eat some of that deer meat you were just talking about.
Right.
Not just like frighten them. Surprise! I shot at you.
Yeah. That was pretty cool, right? Okay. Would you rather? Last one. Would you rather build an overland hunting truck or SUV?
SUV.
Okay. Because you like the idea of sleeping inside the vehicle and turning on the engine and heating it up in the morning.
Yeah, maybe a little coffee and sit in there,
All right. All right. Let's hear yours.
I've only have 3, so
that's fine.
I've been outnumbered. Would you rather get Lyme's disease or trichinosis?
Okay. So
how do you like your own no-win situation?
So I can't claim to be an expert on either.
That's why I brought this information.
So, but here's what I've gathered. You have Lyme's disease, and so does Ryan Muckenhurt.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I've gathered, basically all it means is that when you wake up in the morning, you're a little bit groggy and cranky.
Sometimes.
But you kind of are always that way. And you get sore easily in your joints and stuff. But that happens when you age anyway.
Right.
So I think I would rather take the Lyme's disease because trichinosis is where you get. I'm gonna have to reference your Wikipedia link here. Trichinosis involves something under the skin.
Read that, Jim.
Is that correct? Roundworm parasites use a host body to live and reproduce. The parasites primarily infect meat-eating animals. Okay, so right off the bat, I can tell you, I hate bugs. Okay, so I know either of these things kind of comes from a bug.
Right.
But the fact that if you get trichinosis, Jim, it's parasites that are not only like in you, but they're like using you as a host for them to like make more of
They
them.
are breeding.
That's messed up. I don't want to be hotel parasite trichinosis. I'm fine. I'm not fine with it. But if one tick bites me and then I'm like, crap, I get it off or whatever, and then I get something from it, at least it's not like creating more ticks inside of me.
I mean, Lyme disease can be completely debilitating. Like it's like
I believe
it can be a really, really bad deal.
Again, would you rather is a case of two terrible things that you definitely would not like to have. That you have to choose one of the the least worst scenario. I would take Lyme disease personally. But that is not to make light of Lyme disease, even though I was kind of poking fun at you earlier. I'm not saying Lyme disease is anything to.
They're both.
They're both terrible.
They're both horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would personally, over trichinosis, take Lyme disease.
I can get it. The thought of becoming a breeding ground is just. I don't know. You can't win. You're not going to win.
Nope.
Stay out of the woods. Stay out of my spots. You won't get either of those things. All right. Would you rather be given, Jim,
Yes,
the best overland vehicle specifically built for hunting and fishing expeditions, literally no expense spared,
okay,
or build an OK one, or build an OK one with normal budget constraints?
100% build one. I have no interest. You have no idea how many times I've gone online. You can go all over the place and you can search vehicles. There's people who sell like fully built everything, no expense spared.
Right.
I have zero interest. It's not. It sounds like it's what. But I don't know.
Yeah, but if you go that route, you skip like all the useless stuff, and then you just go on like an awesome hunting and fishing adventure.
See, that's the part though. Like what made Cruisin' for Coos, for example, so interesting to me and so fun for me was the fact that we were in a vehicle that like we built ourselves, right?
We picked the same hunt for entirely different reasons.
Right. So that sense of and like I said when we were talking about Cruisin' for Coos, I was saying. Not everybody is born fresh out the womb with just this like baked in desire to be the hunter,
Right.
It's the same thing I was talking about when you go back to caveman age and whatever, and you got to have like not everybody was the hunter because the reason we ever even invented the wheel or the reason we ever invented whatever is because some people were the inventor. And back then they probably also kind of had to hunt because, well, you got to, but right, they're the inventor. And nowadays, you can be a little bit more specialized. So people like yourself, you've got the hunter in your blood. Whereas me, I enjoy it recreationally a little bit, and stuff like that. And I definitely get that connection to it as like a human being and, this like primal stuff. But also I like building. So I'm like, I would have been in ancient times, I would have been like probably a little bit skinny and gaunt because I probably wasn't hunting as much as I should have or as good at hunting as I should have been, but I was probably like building stuff a lot. I think that would have been me.
Yeah, but you were saving your calories because you're like, oh, I'm going to try this thing. It's called the wheel. You guys.
Yeah, exactly. And then you know what else is great though? I do want to start someday Jim's Overland Adventures. And then I would love to build hunting rigs for other people who are like you who don't care about building it. And then I can just watch them go hunting, and maybe they'll take me along sometimes.
Fair enough.
All right.
Fair enough.
All right.
Okay. I feel like I know the answer to this one too. I'm asking. Would you rather draw?
Don't ask me if I'd rather own a Chevy because the answer is instant.
I almost put that in there, but we didn't. Would you rather draw a bighorn sheep tag? Now, mind you, I'm saying bighorn, so Rocky Mountain bighorn or desert bighorn. Your choice.
Okay.
Hunter's choice here.
Okay.
Have an epic hunt and shoot a giant ram, or have an entire month to just work on cars as much as you want.
Oh. Now, okay, if I'm just working on cars as much as I want, can I have the cars that I want to work on and all the tools necessary?
I'd say
if you're comparing us to the bighorn sheep hunt, or bighorn ram hunt in this amazing place, very hard to get hunt, then you also got to kind of like even it out
so fair enough, but you don't get to keep them. You have what you normally have, but then you have access to like just this like insane garage, anything you ever wanted.
If I don't get to keep them, I go with the bighorn hunt.
That's a surprise to me.
Because I like to work on it, get done, and then be able to enjoy it. But if I don't get to keep them, then I would say
no. You get to keep the car. Not the tools. Like, you don't get like, I've always wanted to have this lift and I don't have one of those. Like in this scenario, like you're like, I get to use it. Zip, 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 buttons and stuff.
Oh, that changes things. Okay. I thought I had to give up the car after I was done working on it.
No, you can keep it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, the car thing.
Oh, okay. So I was right.
Yes.
So really, I'm going to boil this down here then, Jim. Aside from number one, which is a toss-up, your answers are the thoughts of an insane person.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Okay. Well,
and on that note, now maybe you know a little bit more about Mark and myself when you listen to us in the future for the next 2 years. So
yes, thanks for listening for 2 years if you have been, or 2 minutes if you have been.
If this is your first episode, they're not normally like this, even though usually it is Mark and I giving each other a lot of crap. But if you've been hanging out for 2 years, we appreciate it. Also, big shout out to MC Ryan over there. Again, we were just discussing with Cooper here, new member of the team, but MC still not technically correct for what he actually does.
Zero
relevance. Yeah. But he's still MC Ryan, and the only reason that you're even able to listen to any podcast is because of MC Ryan. So give a shout out to MC Ryan in the comments. What do you say?
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Hopefully this was somewhat interesting. Maybe not.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's like when we were even talking about the trips, we were there, so it's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. If this was interesting, let us know. And if you don't think it was, maybe don't, because I get my feelings hurt easy.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
26 minutes.
It's not bad for us. We like to talk.
26 minutes?
Come on. How long did you expect it? How long did you expect it to go?
10 minutes.
You thought this would go 10 minutes?
Yeah.
You thought with
talk.
everything that Mark had written down.
I went in this with
Have you seen our 10-minute talks for the I mean, they're almost never really like.
They bother me.
They're usually like an average of 13 to 14 minutes.
I know.
Well, maybe
this is an outlier.
Maybe we should do a.
Do you want us to reshoot this and do a speed version? Okay, Mark.
No, because we've been meeting in 18
no laughing.
minutes.
Huh?
We've been meeting in 18 minutes.
All right.
Yeah, we finished up.
Mark, no fun, no laughing. Just answer my questions.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you this. Tell me what was the truth and what was the lie. No.
This is supposed to be entertaining, be a robot.
Yes. Please enjoy this.